Sometimes the strongest feelings are the ones no one talks about. Not because they aren't real, but because admitting them feels risky. When a man is falling hard, he doesn't always confess it with words. In fact, many men do the opposite. They stay quiet. They act normal. They convince themselves that if they don't say anything, the feelings might stay manageable. But emotions don't disappear just because they are unspoken. They find other ways to surface. That's where behavior becomes more honest than language. Men who are emotionally invested often reveal themselves through small, consistent actions rather than dramatic declarations. They show care without labeling it. They protect without claiming ownership. They stay close without demanding anything in return. To an outsider, it might look like kindness or coincidence. But to someone paying attention, it feels deeper, more intentional, almost personal. What makes this confusing is that these signs aren't loud. They don't follow the stereotypes of romance. There's no sudden intensity, no constant texting, no obvious flirting. Instead, there's presence, awareness, a quiet sense that someone is paying attention to you in a way others don't. And that can be harder to interpret than clear words. Many men are taught to suppress emotional vulnerability, to stay controlled, to avoid admitting feelings until they are certain, or until they feel safe enough to do so. So when they start developing strong emotions, those feelings leak out through behavior instead, through listening more closely, through showing up more consistently, through subtle shifts that only happen with one person. This is why understanding these signs matters. Not to overanalyze or assume, but to recognize when care is genuine, even if it hasn't been spoken yet. Because when someone is falling hard, they don't always rush toward confession. Sometimes they slow down instead. They become more thoughtful, more steady, more protective of the connection itself. These signs aren't about manipulation or games. They are about emotional honesty showing up in quiet forms. And once you learn to notice them, patterns begin to make sense. The small things add up. The consistency becomes meaningful. The silence feels less confusing. If you've ever felt that someone cares deeply but hasn't said it out loud, you're not imagining things. Feelings have a way of revealing themselves, especially when someone is trying their best to hide them. 1. He finds excuses to be around you. When a man is falling hard but doesn't want to admit it, his presence becomes intentional, but disguised. He won't always say he misses you or wants to see you. Instead, he creates reasons. Small, harmless excuses that don't expose his emotions. He might suddenly need your opinion on something he could easily decide himself. Or he'll coincidentally be in places where he knows you'll be. The key detail is this. The excuse isn't important. The time with you is. He may linger longer than necessary, stretching conversations that could have ended earlier. He'll slow down his exit, ask one more question, or bring up something random just to stay connected a little longer. These moments aren't accidents. They are emotional impulses masked as logic. To him, being around you feels grounding, even if he can't explain why. What makes this sign powerful is consistency. Anyone can show up once. But when someone repeatedly finds reasons, especially subtle ones, to be near you, it means your presence brings him comfort and emotional safety. He's drawn to your energy, your reactions, the way you make ordinary moments feel better. He might not label it as love yet. In his mind, he's just checking in or helping out. But emotionally, he's already attached. Because people don't seek proximity without feeling something deeper pulling them there. 2. He pays attention to the smallest details. When a man is falling hard, his mind starts recording things about you without effort. Not the obvious facts, but the quiet details others miss. He remembers how you like your coffee, the story you told once in passing, or the way your mood shifts when you're tired. These details matter because attention is emotional currency. We only truly notice what we care about. He might surprise you by bringing up something you barely remember mentioning, or he adjusts his behavior based on what he's learned about you, without making it obvious. This isn't strategy. It's instinct. His focus sharpens around you because emotionally, you've become important. What's telling is that he doesn't do this for attention or praise. He doesn't announce it. He just knows. And that quiet awareness creates a sense of being seen. When someone pays attention at this level, it means you occupy space in their thoughts even when you're not around. This kind of attention often shows before words do. Before I like you or I care, there's noticing, remembering, adjusting. It's how unspoken affection expresses itself safely. Men who aren't emotionally invested don't store details. They forget them. But when it's falling hard, every small thing about you starts to feel meaningful, because emotionally, you already are. 3. He protects you in subtle ways. Protection doesn't always look loud or dramatic. When a man is falling hard but hiding it, his protection becomes quiet, almost invisible. He steps in without making a scene. He watches your reactions. He makes sure you're okay before focusing on himself. This isn't about control, it's about care. He might defend your name when you're not around, or gently steer conversations away from topics that make you uncomfortable. He notices when something bothers you and adjusts the environment instead of asking you to toughen up. These are emotional instincts, not conscious decisions. What's important is that he doesn't seek credit for it. He won't say, "I did this for you." He just does it. Because when someone matters deeply, their emotional safety starts to matter too. This kind of protection often comes from fear, not of conflict, but of losing you. He wants you to feel safe, respected, and supported around him. Even if he hasn't admitted his feelings, his actions already have. Men don't protect what they don't care about. And when that protection is subtle, consistent, and selfless, it's one of the strongest signs that his emotions are deeper than he's ready to say out loud. 4. He gets quietly jealous but hides it. When a man is falling hard but hasn't admitted it, jealousy shows up softly, not through control or confrontation, but through silence and restraint. He won't accuse you or ask obvious questions. Instead, his energy shifts. He becomes more observant when other people give you attention. He listens closely to names, stories, and details that suddenly matter more than they should. You might notice a pause in his response, a subtle change in tone, a brief withdrawal followed by extra attentiveness. This is quiet jealousy, the kind that comes from emotional attachment mixed with fear of exposure. He doesn't want to seem insecure, and he definitely doesn't want to reveal how much he cares. So he swallows it. What's telling is that even while hiding his jealousy, his behavior adjusts. He may become more present, more helpful, or more protective afterward. It's his way of reasserting emotional closeness without saying anything out loud. Jealousy like this isn't about possession. It's about value. He feels something for you, and the idea of losing your attention unsettles him, even if he pretends otherwise. When jealousy is controlled rather than explosive, it often signals deep feelings paired with emotional maturity. 5. He mirrors your mood and energy. When a man is falling hard, his emotional state begins to sync with yours, often unconsciously. If you're happy, he feels lighter. If you're quiet, he softens. This mirroring isn't intentional imitation, it's emotional alignment. He's tuned into you because your feelings matter to him. You might notice he matches your tone in conversations, your pace, even your humor. When you're excited, he engages more. When you're drained, he becomes calmer and more supportive. This happens because emotionally, he's connected. Your inner world starts influencing his. Mirroring is one of the strongest psychological signs of emotional bonding. It means he's not just reacting to situations, he's reacting to you. He wants harmony. He wants to meet you where you are rather than pull you toward where he wants to be. What makes this powerful is consistency. Anyone can mirror once, but when it becomes a pattern, it shows emotional investment. He's no longer operating independently. Your energy affects his. And that only happens when feelings run deeper than logic. 6. He prioritizes your comfort over his own. When a man is falling hard but hiding it, his choices quietly shift. Your comfort begins to matter more than his convenience. He'll adjust plans, slow his pace, or sacrifice small preferences to make sure you feel at ease. He may not even realize he's doing it. It just feels natural. He checks in without making it obvious. He notices when you're uncomfortable and changes things before you have to ask. This could be as simple as choosing a place you like, adjusting his words, or staying longer just to make sure you're okay. What's important is that he doesn't treat this like a favor. He doesn't keep score, because emotionally, your comfort has become part of his sense of responsibility, not obligation, but care. People prioritize what they value. When your emotional or physical comfort consistently comes first, it's a sign his feelings are already deep. Even if he hasn't admitted it yet, his actions are quietly saying what his words haven't caught up to. 7. He listens more than he talks around you. When a man is falling hard but hasn't admitted it, his focus shifts from being impressive to being present. Around you, he listens more than he speaks, not because he has nothing to say, but because what you say matters more to him. Your words carry weight. He wants to understand how you think, how you feel, and what matters to you. He remembers your stories, asks quiet follow-up questions, and notices changes in your tone. He doesn't rush to interrupt or turn the conversation back to himself. Instead, he creates space for you to be heard. This kind of listening isn't passive, it's intentional. It's emotional curiosity. What's revealing is that he adjusts his responses based on what you share. He becomes more thoughtful, more careful, and more aware. That level of attention usually appears when someone is emotionally invested, even if they haven't labeled their feelings yet. Listening like this is a form of respect and care. It shows he values your inner world. And when someone consistently listens with depth, it means you've already become important to them. 8. He supports your goals without taking credit. When a man is falling hard, he wants to see you succeed, even if it brings him no recognition. He encourages you quietly. He offers help when you need it and steps back when you don't. There's no need for applause, because his support isn't about ego, it's about belief in you. He might remind you of your strengths when you doubt yourself. He shares resources, advice, or time without expecting anything in return. And when you achieve something, he celebrates you, not his role in it. What makes this powerful is the absence of ownership. He doesn't say, "I helped you do this." He says, "You earned this." That distinction reveals emotional maturity and genuine care. Supporting someone's dreams without attaching yourself to the outcome means you want them to grow, even if that growth doesn't revolve around you. And that kind of support usually comes from deep, unspoken affection. 9. He acts normal but changes when you're not there. When a man is falling hard but hiding it, he often keeps his composure around you. He acts calm, casual, unaffected. But the moment you leave, something shifts. His energy drops. He becomes quieter, less engaged, or suddenly more restless. Others might notice the difference before you do. He talks about you more when you're not there. He checks his phone. He replays conversations in his head. This contrast reveals how much your presence affects him emotionally. Around you, he's trying to stay controlled. Away from you, his feelings surface. That's when attachment becomes obvious. This shift doesn't mean he's pretending around you. It means he's protecting his feelings. Being near you requires balance. Being without you reminds him of what he hasn't said yet. And when someone's emotional state changes simply because you're not there, it's a clear sign they're already more attached than they're willing to admit. 10. He remembers things you mentioned once. When a man is falling hard but hasn't admitted it, his memory becomes emotionally selective, and you sit at the center of it. He remembers things you mentioned casually, almost accidentally. A comment you made once in passing. A preference you didn't emphasize. A story you didn't think mattered. To you, it was nothing. To him, it became stored. This happens because emotional attachment sharpens attention. His mind tags information connected to you as important. Not because it's trying to impress you, but because your words naturally register deeper. Later, when he brings those details up, it feels surprising. Not dramatic, just quietly thoughtful. What's powerful is that he doesn't just remember facts. He remembers feelings. How something made you uncomfortable. What excites you. What you avoid talking about. That level of recall means he's emotionally present even when you're not around. People don't remember random details about people they feel neutral about. Memory follows meaning. And when he remembers something you said once, it's a sign you already hold emotional significance in his inner world. 11. He feels affected when you pull away. When you pull back, even slightly, he feels it deeply, even if he doesn't say anything. His energy shifts. He becomes quieter, more thoughtful, or subtly concerned. This reaction isn't about control or insecurity. It's about emotional connection. Your absence registers. He may not chase or confront you. Instead, he reflects. He replays interactions, wondering what changed. He checks himself before blaming you. That internal reaction is important. It shows emotional investment mixed with restraint. What's revealing is that he doesn't react the same way when others pull away. Your distance affects him because you matter. He feels the emotional gap even if the physical one is small. When someone is emotionally attached, disconnection creates discomfort, not anger, but awareness. And if your withdrawal alters his mood or behavior, it means his feelings are already deeper than his admitting. 12. He includes you in his future conversations. When a man starts including you in his future, casually, naturally, it's a sign his feelings are settling in. He talks about plans, ideas, or possibilities and instinctively places you there. Not always directly, but subtly. We could do this someday. You'd have to see this place. That reminds me of something you'd like. He's not making promises. He's revealing orientation. His mind is projecting forward, and you're part of the picture. This happens before commitment is spoken, because emotionally, he's already imagining continuity. What makes this meaningful is how effortless it feels. He doesn't pause to ask if it's okay. He doesn't overthink it. You include it because it feels right. People only imagine a future with those they emotionally value. And when he does this naturally, without pressure or expectation, it's a quiet but powerful sign that is already falling hard, even if he hasn't said the words yet. 13. He offers help without being asked. When a man is falling hard but hasn't admitted it, his instinct to help activates quietly. You don't have to ask. You don't have to hint. He notices what you're dealing with and steps in naturally. This kind of help isn't dramatic or attention-seeking. It's practical, timely, and thoughtful. He might solve a problem before you even mention it, or offer support in moments where you didn't realize you needed it yet. This happens because emotionally, he's already tuned into your world. Your challenges register as something he wants to ease, not because he feels obligated, but because he cares. What makes this meaningful is consistency. He doesn't help once and disappear. He shows up in small ways repeatedly, and he doesn't remind you of it later. There's no scorekeeping, no expectation of praise. Offering help without being asked is a sign of emotional investment. It means he's paying attention, anticipating your needs, and placing your well-being into his decision-making process. People don't do that casually. When help feels effortless and selfless, it usually comes from affection that hasn't been spoken yet, but is already deeply felt. 14. He stays calm during emotional moments. When emotions rise, most people react instinctively. Defensiveness, frustration, withdrawal. But when a man is falling hard, something changes. Around you, he becomes calmer, more grounded. He doesn't escalate tension. He tries to stabilize it. If you're emotional, he doesn't dismiss you. He listens. He stays present. Even when he doesn't fully understand, he remains steady. This calm isn't indifference, it's care. He's managing his reactions because your emotional safety matters to him. What's important is that this calmness doesn't feel cold. It feels reassuring. He doesn't invalidate your feelings or rush you through them. He allows space without pressure. Staying calm during emotional moments requires emotional maturity and investment. It means he values the connection more than winning an argument or protecting his ego. When someone regulates themselves to protect your emotional experience, it's a strong sign of deep, unspoken attachment. 15. He shows consistency instead of intensity. When a man is falling hard but hiding it, he doesn't overwhelm you with grand gestures or sudden intensity. Instead, he shows up consistently. His behavior doesn't spike and disappear. It stays steady, reliable, and predictable. He checks in. He follows through. He does what he says he'll do. There's no emotional roller coaster, just presence. This consistency is intentional, even if subconscious. He wants to feel safe to you, and he wants you to feel safe with him. Intensity can be exciting, but consistency builds trust. And when someone chooses consistency, it usually means their feelings are serious. Is not chasing a moment, is building connection. What makes this powerful is time. Anyone can be intense briefly, but consistency requires care, effort, and emotional grounding. When a man shows up the same way repeatedly, without pressure, without disappearing, it's often because his feelings run deeper than attraction. They are rooted, stable, and quietly strong.